Welcome to the Virginia is for Sports podcast with your hosts, Kevin Flippin as Flip, Paul Gilman as PG Fitty P, and Kenny Wingle as KDub. Let's play VA.
Is up, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Virginia is for Sports. We are down one, but that makes no difference. PG Fitty P had a prior engagement, and we're going to let him slide this time. But tonight we have a special guest, the coach who led Varina High School to the VHSL Class 5 state championship, was also named Virginia High School Coach of the Year that same year, and has coached Richard Bland College, several other high schools that we're going to get into here in a little bit. Coach Andrew Lacey joins us tonight. Coach, we're excited and honored to have you on the podcast. Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And by the way, I mentioned before we got on that the coach has got that sweet background. If he turns around and starts shooting a couple J's while we're doing this, just ignore. He'll be fine. You'll be fine. So it's all good.
I'd rather he just dunk on you, Flip. I'm good.
Look, I'm a little older now, so it is going to be in the paint. We ain't going to do this running around and trying to shoot all these jump shots. We're going to get closer to the paint.
That's funny you say that, Coach, because I got further from the paint the older I got.
No.
Just get away from that, man.
Yeah, can't chase anybody at this age now. So you got to slow the game down, back you down, use a couple head fakes, and give a little shoulder or something to get open.
Yeah, man. I love it.
I'm literally like Kareem. I might back somebody down, and I've been working on the sky hook. See if I can get that thing popping.
It's amazing no one else picked up the sky hook. Kareem's like the only guy who ever did that. He did it obviously to perfection. Coach, let me ask you, this is totally off our regular plan. Why do you think no one has been able to pick up the sky hook like Kareem?
Because every post player now thinks they're a point guard or a shooting guard. So they want to shoot threes. So they're perfecting a jump shot over the hook shot.
Yeah, that's a great answer. You're absolutely right. You can go to – it's funny. It depends on how old you are, but let's just say you go to the YMCA during the 80s, the 90s, the 2000s, and now it's totally different what's going on each era. Everybody wanted to be Magic and Bird, then everybody wanted to be Jordan, then everybody wanted to be Steph Curry. It's crazy how things kind of flow with basketball.
Flip, I'm sorry, while we're on the sky hook thing, if I went to the YMCA or the gym and I was playing against a dude and he hit 2 straight sky hooks on me, I'm probably shutting it down because I know it's going to be a long day.
Hey, that's true though, but you would be impressed, would you not? I mean, sky hook, come on.
Of course, yeah, I'd be mad though. I'd be all right. I don't know why I came back out here. I'm putting the ball down.
Right. Coach, so you and I connected through the legendary football coach from Varina High School, Stu Brown. Quite the character, Stu. How long have you known Stu?
I knew Stu to date now is about 10 years. I met him when I first went to Varina as the head coach there. And then we've been friends like ever since. Taught PE together, coached together, still keep in touch now.
Yeah, great dude. So give us a little background give a little bit of your background and how your playing background, because we want to get into your coaching, your philosophy, and all that good stuff. But I also want to get a good grounding of your playing background, your high school, and then I know you played at Bridgewater. What were some of your best memories of playing high school at Bridgewater?
Best memories in high school, man. I played varsity for 4 years. Freshman year, we lost in the state semis. Sophomore year, we won it. So in high school, when you play with upperclassmen, you learn quick. that you're not here to score. So you're going to have to rebound, defend, pass them the ball. But then when they give it to you, you open, you got to make a shot. So I learned how to shoot really well and defend really well in high school. So my shooting ability attracted, Bill Leatherman from Bridgewater. And I decided to go to Bridgewater. I was probably a better football player. I was just telling the story yesterday. Probably a better football player according to my 15-year-old than I was a basketball player. I could have went, played Division I football. He's always, Dad, you chose to play D3 basketball at Bridgewater over football. But it was because Coach Leatherman and staff, they came to my house. They sat down and talked to me, talked to my mom. So I'm from Westmoreland County in the northern neck country town. So, we grew up in the country. That's big. Somebody, a college coach coming to your house, you sitting down, having dinner with your family. That's kind of how I ended up at Bridgewater. And there I was a defender and a shooter and played there for 4 years.
So if you could have played Division I football, you must have had basketball in your blood, right? I mean, it must have been your passion for you to make that choice. I would assume.
You always have this debate where back in the day, small school, you playing 3 sports. Like we don't got many athletes, so you couldn't really specialize as much as they do today. So I was a really good athlete. So it was to keep us busy and have us something to do. I was a pitcher in baseball. So because I had a pretty good arm, they made you become quarterback in football and you could run. So I had a really good football career, especially my junior year. Like I was really good at football. And then, basketball, everybody thinks they're a basketball player. So you want to be that basketball player. That's kind of why I made that choice.
I got you.
What high school was it, Coach?
Yeah.
Lieutenant Lee. It's now Westmoreland High School. Down the road, down 360, across the bridge, Route 3 from King William and
Northern Neck. I've been out that way.
Yeah, so that's where it's
Tidewater District. Were they Tidewater? Yeah.
Where's Northern Neck? We closer to the river. Tidewater is down there to 757.
So you're talking Matthews County, that kind of deal. Irvington.
Okay, Irvington, you're getting closer because that's getting on the back end of like Kilmarnock, Northumberland. Yeah, that's the area I'm from. I got you.
So
Lancaster, or Lancaster, I don't know how they say. I can't say what they say. That's how it's Lancaster. I played for King William High School, so that's where I played my last high school basketball game. We lost to Nandua, and I think the regional semis. Yeah. TJ Grimes and all of them. So those boys were tough.
Lancaster. So, Coach, how did you make the transition from playing at Bridgewater? When did you realize, hey, I think I want to coach this game of basketball? Because I would imagine you probably were maybe hoping you'd play overseas or play somewhere and get paid. Maybe not, I don't know. But tell us how you ended up in the coaching world.
So each summer, man, I credit that to my college coach, Coach Leatherman. Each summer, to help us make a little money, he would send us to work camps at different places. So through working camps, you get to coach the kids, the younger kids, and you get involved in coaching. So he'd always been on me, says, man, one day you make a great coach. So once the playing day's in, I wasn't really a fan of going overseas. I like to eat. I'm a very, very particular eater, so and how food tastes. So going over there, I went to a Kevin Eastman camp with Gannon Baker and Randolph Macon. And this was the time where Kevin Eastman was a scout for the Portland Trail Blazers, and Gannon Baker was the NBA skill coach, and they sent us through the workouts and evaluate you to go over there. And I was like, I don't really know if I love it that much to do that. So went back to my old high school area and wanted to coach. So they said, hey, look, you could be the JV coach. You can coach JV baseball, JV basketball, JV football. Then they told you, hey, but we really like you to teach too. So that's really how I got into coaching and teaching this long.
Nice.
Okay. That makes sense. So from what I understand, and you keep me honest, you've been able to go to several different programs, not just high school, with Richard Bland as well, and turn things around. How and when I say turn things around, you come into a program that maybe hasn't won a lot, or is a rather newer program. How do you get people to buy in so quickly to be able to turn something around quickly? Because it's not something everybody has a talent to do.
It's hard. I mean, I'm not even going to lie to you. It's hard because everybody has their own way that they think the game of basketball should be played or coached, and we all get it from somewhere. So you go into a program, excuse me, that hasn't won. The first thing you have to change is the culture to say, hey, we can win, and teach them how to win. And that process, it takes time. And for me, it was always in that second year. That first year, I was always like, hey, I'm going to take the young guys. No offense to seniors, but you start a program in a high school and you got a senior, you got it for 1 year. And if a freshman or sophomore was just as good as that senior, I'm going to rock with them. Because by the time you figure it out, we got 2-3 more years for you to be in the program. So that senior had to be really good to play for me. That was in there, unless they were like a great leader. So that was where I started. That was it. But you got to win at everything. So you're teaching them how to win. And I mean, we wanted to, especially at Varina and everywhere else, we wanted to beat you in team camp. You know how some people say, man, it's just the summertime. No, winning is a culture and it's a skill, and you got to win at everything. So we wanted to beat you at team camp. We was going to beat you in pickup. We was going to beat each other, going to beat it in one-on-one. Like, you can never win enough. You don't get tired of winning. So when you set it up, obviously, you can set your schedule early to help you to be successful. So you gotta have success there. You gotta be in the gym with the kids and have them success and have them believing that they can win, and you gotta win the right way. And then once it's about, we say it's not about winning championships and titles, but look at your great programs. They take off and they're measured by how many championships they win, and that's where you really, because college coaches and everybody want to win. So that was it. It's tough, and I mean, you gotta have a quality staff, and to be transparent. My first, I started with girls, so that was 2, 4. Like, I had a lot of different members of my staff to get it right. By the time we won a state championship at Varina, I think I understood together a really good staff that complemented and did it. So that's another piece of it. And the last piece is, you got to have a good, supportive administration. If your administration ain't behind it and getting the support from them, success is going to be hard to come by.
I believe it. KDub, do you have something?
Yes, I do. I got a couple questions for you, Coach. First of all, I want to know, you won your state title in what, 2018?
Yes.
28. Did Coach Stu Brown win a title that year as well in football?
No. He was, I think they went to the regional championship or semis that year, but he didn't get a state title that year. We won the state title.
All right, so you were the big dog on campus the next year. I just wanted to get that out because Stu does.
I didn't say that, so therefore you said it.
I know, you didn't have to say it. That's why I asked. So you didn't have to say it. But shout out to Coach Stu. But we just want to. KDub's reminding you that you didn't win a title at the same time Coach Lacey did. So I know he was celebrating with you though.
Yeah.
So with that being said, Coach Lacey, who were some of your mentors or a mentor in coaching for you?
Man, so I'll name the most influential ones. I got a lot. I'm still a learner in this. So I have a lot of them. Like I said, Coach Leatherman is my college coach. He really got me started. But Coach Dotson, Chris Dotson, he's the head girls coach at Spotswood High School. If you know anything about girls basketball in the state, they win a lot of state titles there. So when I was coaching girls, he really took me under his wing, teach me how to build a program, what you should be doing in the off season. That's in there. Once I got myself went to North Carolina and was down there doing the boys. Coach Apple, he's down there head coach at Sand Hills, and they've won a couple national championships at junior college. But it's, how you transition to the boys, structuring your off-season development program in there. Once I got to Varina, the first guy that really took me under his wing was Coach Lancaster, George Lancaster. And, I mean, those first couple years when we were struggling, my first 2 years there, he'd pick up the phone, he'd text me, or he'd see me when we played Highland Springs, and he'd keep, confidence, man, I love what you're doing, talking to discipline and make sure kids playing the game the right way. And so that really stuck with me. That was there. And then, another key one is Arnold Henderson. When I started linked up with him when I got into Team Richmond, he kind of became my right-hand man. So on that 2018 state title team, I named him the special assistant to the head coach. He's probably the most key advisor that I have in my circle. And, based on what he does for a living, he knows a lot about sports. He played in high school. He speaks around. So when it's, hey, can I do this? Or do you think this is a great idea? Or bringing this, like, he's very, very key there. But I learned from everybody. I got a lot of associates, from Division I and all the way down to high school that we just bounce ideas off of all the time. We text each other. We see each other out, when you're recruiting on the road. And in this day and time with transfer portal, kids leaving, kind of recruiting, you got to piggyback and got to talk to people that been around the game and see it a little different than you all the time just to get, how it really works. And I say that, how I run my practices is a football background. And structure of what we do shows my football background. So Stu was there, he uses the wristbands and the play calls and the languages. So I get it from everywhere to like bring it to the kids, just to give you a different way to kind of teach something. Maybe somebody picks something up, maybe it runs, smooth, because football coaches are very, very key at organization. Think about it. You got two different sides of the ball, really running two teams, offensive team, defensive team. You got a tremendous amount of staff and workers. So for them to get through a 2-hour practice and 2-hour practice and be really, really good, you got to think about how organized they are and how they value their time. So that's kind of where I lean to build my philosophy.
So
you should have told my high school basketball coach that he thought sprints were the best thing all day in basketball practice. Like, come on, bro. Flip, you got one?
Yeah, well, two quick things about what you just said, Coach. Number one, great man, Arnold Henderson. I'm glad you brought him up. Shout out to him. Awesome dude. And number two, it's good to hear some Varina Highland Springs love going back and forth, because I know that's a huge rivalry. We've had folks on the podcast that have been on both sides of that. So it's great to hear Coach Lancaster has been one of your mentors. But you did mention something about girls. Recent explosion in women's basketball, right? Tell us what you think, because you've coached both of them. You've coached the girls and the boys. If you had to pinpoint one difference in coaching girls and coaching boys, what would it be?
Pace of the game. The pace of the game in the girls' game is a lot slower than the guys' game.
So do you feel you have to coach more in the girls because it's just more sets to run and stuff like that?
Yes, you would have to be coached really, really, be a really good coach. For me, that's where I learned how to coach and teach, is when I coach girls. Because you got to teach the game, you got to break everything down, you got to tell them the why that we're doing this, and you got to show them, you got to like that made me a better coach. Because when you go to the guys, you're going to spend a lot of time repeating yourself, because the pace is going to be so much faster. They're going to be much more athletic, and you're going to really need all the little, nuances that come with the girls' game.
Yeah,
nice.
That's a great. I can only imagine the managing of the personalities also is something that it can't be easy, right? I mean, you mentioned having a good, strong support staff. I imagine having a good, strong set of assistant coaches on whether it's girls or boys is a big deal for you.
It is, and it's a tough task, man. And I say this a lot, and people frown at me. We see a lot of clinics. Me being a head coach, I've served as an assistant coach for 2 years. That's when I was 24 and 25, and I was a JV coach. I'm 42. I've been running my old program and calling my shots ever since then. And I always say when you hire new assistants, I said, we do not do enough teaching in clinics to teach assistant coaches how to be good assistants.
Yeah.
And we always try to teach them how to be, head coaches, and they want to be head coaches, but we don't do enough to teach them how to be, really good assistants and what goes into that. And they're a very vital part of any successful program, especially in girls, because the girls got a little bit more off the court things that's got to be in line for you to have success on the court. So you really, really, really got to, nail down to make sure you have that good assistant or two good assistants that can help you get on the girl side to tailor that off the court stuff, where you can really focus on the basketball piece.
Yeah. So let me go back to get something going forward. So if you had a whiteboard, and let's go back and talk and think about our mentors and people that were influencers on you. What's the best piece of advice you've ever been given that you would put on that whiteboard and have in your office every day?
Best piece of advice: execute. I think I have a shirt, and I got it in making t-shirts. I got a shirt with it. Execute. And I think that advice means, regardless of what you're doing, you have to execute it. Ain't no such thing as a great play. You can play a 2-3 zone. You can play man-to-man. You can have the greatest out-of-bounds play. But it all's going to come down to execution. And that sticks with me. We talk about it with our kid. That would be the best. I would just write that word on the board. Hey, what do you mean, coach? Execute. What does that mean? Hey, if you got to tie your shoe, you better make sure you got the knot tied, and then we got a great bow. But you got to come through and you got to execute. And there's going to be no excuse of why we didn't execute. So we talk about that a lot.
Yeah, that's great.
That's awesome. Execute. So it's like execute meaning run the play, and if we execute well, we're going to kill this team.
Right.
Like we're going to.
That's it. Yeah. If you,
I like.
And if it's I think it translates to off the floor. So whatever you do, you wake up every day. We all go to work. You got to execute on your job. Like you got a task that you got to fulfill every day. So when I walk in there, 1, 2, execute. It's making sure I got everything done today for us to be successful on my end, and everything else to take care of itself.
Execution.
So along those lines, Coach, let me ask you this: so what are you planning in the near future to execute in the sports community?
So I got a couple different things going right now. That's there. So I think in a couple weeks, there'll be a big announcement. That's coming. On this end.
You won't break it? You'll break it here? You'll break it?
I'm not going to break it.
It'll come out Friday.
I'm not going to break it here, but I think it'll be there. It'll still be an athletic. It'll be, I'll still be doing coaching. I'll be in the athletic administration. That's there. So that's coming. I want to do more this is a large one, but I see a lot of youth football leagues is played in the fall and played in the spring and this. So I'm going back to the Northern Neck, and we're going to do a youth development league for the younger kids. So that's coming this summer for sure. But that I'll go ahead and release now because the plan and stuff is taking off for that. But what else is coming with that? That's going to help that really take off too. So I still be around the game. For me, I got a 15-year-old son, and I only have one. So time moves forward, not backwards. So you got to realize that, man, being a college coach, you miss a lot of that time and getting older. So sometimes, man, the best decision for dad is not what's best decision for, best decision for my career is not always the best decision to be dad. So you kind of got to keep everything in perspective. So everybody's good with it. In a couple weeks, I'll shoot you all a text and say, hey, here it is. But I mean, if you're on social media, you're probably gonna see it before a text message ever go through.
All right. Hey, well, we're excited for you, Coach. I appreciate that. Look, man, there's nothing better. I'm a big proponent of quality of life. So,
Right.
especially at this age now with a 15-year-old, I got a 15 and 17, and look, my time is spent with them as much as I can. So, especially, I mean, you understand from coaching that impact that you're going to have from that 15 to 18, getting through high school,
It's
so
huge.
kudos to you for that.
We're getting in a vehicle, man. We got practice. We got AAU practice tomorrow and Thursday with Team Richmond, and then man, Friday morning we're in a vehicle going our way to Rock Hill, South Carolina, for them to play in a Big Shots event. So I get to be dad. You can still coach him up a little bit. He's still in that age where sometimes he listens, sometimes he really don't know what all dad accomplished. So dad don't know much, but like I say, it's just being there, being present, being available. Getting the opportunity to watch. For so long, he's seen dad miss games to coach other kids, and have to talk by phone. That it feels pretty good now to say, "Oh man, dad understand being dad, talking to me, rough him up a little bit about his game if he don't do what he's supposed to be doing." But I like it. I mean, I'm enjoying it. It's relaxing.
There's a lot to be said about like with my 17-year-old, he's playing soccer for Monacan, and I don't coach him. I don't critique his game. I've switched to I'm just going to be positive. I text him before the game. I said, look, man, go set the tone, go have a good attitude, and communicate as encouraging. I mean, it's the same thing I would tell a 6-year-old kid that I'm coaching basketball. It's like, I just want to be a fan and pat you on the back and know I got your back.
Right. That's me. Like that's where it is. I don't want to affect that father-son relationship at this critical age of so many changes going on here, freshman in high school. So I don't want it to always be, man, like dad's on me for basketball based on what dad did and does for a career. So it's just want to be, man, if we want to talk about basketball, we can talk. Want to go shoot hoops? Let's go shoot hoops. Let's go. We were on a golf course last Friday. Man, I mean, I got golf clubs in the truck now, so maybe we can catch a break between some game and somewhere else and play. But that's really where him and I are is to make it fun. But I just want to be present.
Yeah, and you just reminded me, like, look, if I was a little bit younger, I'd be dunking on you right now. So just relax. Right?
Wow.
So with that being said, Coach, I know you got. I asked everybody this. Any baller that I assume can dunk, which I'm sure. I know you got a dunk, like your best dunk ever. So can you tell me about the best dunk you ever had?
So I learned this dunk when I was a freshman in high school. You're tossing it off the floor, and first you toss off the floor, you really just catching it and dunking with one hand, just so you can prove to people that you can dunk. So it was never a 2-foot jumper to dunk with like two hands. So I got to jump off 1 foot. So then it came to tossing off the floor. Then you can catch it. You can, once you jump off the one, just catch the ball and dunk it backwards. Then that's where it stopped. I was a shooter. We ain't got time to be doing the dunk thing. Too much energy with it.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome. All right, so
I didn't have a game dunk, so I live vicariously through everybody. I could dunk in warm-ups, like you said. I could throw it, lob it, and go catch it and dunk, but I couldn't. Yeah. I didn't have game dunks.
So, Coach.
Go ahead, Flip.
No. I was going to say, normally, Coach, what we'll do as a segment, we do like a Mount Rushmore or something. What we were hoping to do with you, because we know you're a basketball guy, was we wanted to ask you to tell us your starting 5 players from the state of Virginia throughout your lifetime. So if you want to go back to Moses Malone, that's up to you. But hey, you're starting 5.
I know you peeking at my list over here. You named the guys that were on my list. So for me, I thought about this. I had some assistants, so I ain't even gonna lie. I had some assistants on this one. But my point guard, it's gonna be Allen Iverson, Bubba Chuck.
Bubba.
I think he's gonna be my point guard. Starting at the 2, I'm not a Steph Curry fan, but I think his dad would be my number 2 because he was a really good shooter when he was in Virginia.
Oh,
So
you just made Flip's day. I don't know many
Love
people
Del
that got
Curry,
Dell
man.
on there. as a
Dell
shooting
is
guard,
going to
but
be
yeah,
number 2.
nice.
Now, at the
Because
3
he's a
spot,
shooter, right, Flip?
hey, this is where the game going. His son has changed the game in the NBA. So, I mean, that rightfully so. At the 4 spot, I come back to the 3 spot. At the 4 spot, it's going to be Moses Malone. So Flip was looking at my list on that. Moses is going to be there. And then at the center spot, I'm going to go with Ralph Sampson at the center spot. So I had some trouble at the 3. So I kind of put 2. And it depends on a matchup. So Grant Hill is on one half of that 3, but Brian Stiff is on the other half of that 3. So it's a toss-up.
Nice. You can have a 6-man. We'll let you either one.
But it still would be them
man.
2. Like, if you walk it in there and you needed to like really beat up a team and be physical, I'm gonna go with Brian Stiff. But if I wanted to be finesse and we got play a certain way, I'm gonna go with Grant Hill. So I'm gonna go take Brian Stiff, and then I'm gonna let the Northern Virginia guy come in on the different side. So that would be my crew.
That's a good crew. And by the way, think about that team you just put together. I mean, you've got Iverson and Del Curry, which I think would be a perfect fit because you got a scoring point guard and then a guy who can shoot the lights out. Grant Hill or Brian Stiff at the 3 is phenomenal. And then you got Moses Malone, who would get every single rebound, including probably 17 of his own rebounds, because he used to pad his stats by missing layups and getting his own rebound. I loved it. And then Ralph Sampson, who's the first real freak outside of maybe Wilt Chamberlain, but to be 7'4" and can handle the ball, man, that's the Blue Streaks of Harrisonburg, I believe, is where he came out of. That's awesome. That's a great list, Coach. It's a great list. So
they have highlights of Ralph Sampson. It looks like they sped up the stuff just like they did on Wilt. It's like that they wasn't that fast. But he was fast.
Ralph was I think Ralph could have been so much injuries pretty much kind of derailed his career. Yeah, he could have been he was already a Hall of Famer, so hey, God bless him. All right, Coach, look, thank you first of all for taking the time.
Hold on, Flip. Can I sneak one more in?
Absolutely, man. We got all night.
While we're talking about teams, I want to hear coaches on this because I know, Coach, I'm talking to Flip and PG about this. Obviously, I don't know if Flip's going to play in it, but we're thinking because we remember back in the day the good of 3-on-3 basketball tournaments, like Hoop It Up and stuff. They got a nasty stigma and you don't see them around anymore. But Flip and I were talking about throwing one together at the Henrico Sports and Event Center. So what's your take on the 3-on-3? You remember Hoop It Up in those tournaments?
I do remember it. It's interesting you bring that up. I'm a 3-on-3 guy. And I will say this comment, and people can you view it however you want to view it. But I'm a firm believer of this. I always ask kids, the game of basketball, is it played 1-on-1, 2-on-2, 3-on-3, 4-on-4, 5-on-5? And you know how half the kids are going to say 5-on-5. Then the other half of kids are going to say 1-on-1. But when you really look at basketball and you're trying to teach it, it's played 2-on-2 or it's played 3-on-3. If the basketball is on the strong side, you teaching them how to play 3-on-3, moves, play. That's if you got a post play. If you're on the weak side, you teaching them 2-on-2 and how to make reads and play that. And that's even on defense. If you're on the defense, you're on the weak side of defense, you're playing 2-on-2 because you're in help or 3-on-3. So I love the aspect of playing 3-on-3 and getting kids out of 5-5. You learn the game a little bit better because you got to do a whole lot more. You can't wait for size to rebound a basketball or pass. So no, I'm for it. I think y'all should do it. And if you want to add one in there, don't let them dribble. Play 3-on-3 and don't let them dribble.
Ooh, I like that.
Wow, I like that.
I always like that drill as a coach. Just no dribble, man. Just learn how to move.
Change the game. It would really teach them how to play because now you can't get anything off the bounce. So you really take the one-on-one aspect out of it. So now I got a pass cut, set a screen, move without the ball. So yeah, do the 3-on-3 tournament, and then at
All
some
right,
point in time,
Coach.
just say,
It
man, we
sounds
got
like
no
you're in.
dribble.
Then you're running the no dribble. You're running the no
I'll
dribble.
definitely
division.
come out to do that. Yeah, of course.
That's
See, Flip,
awesome.
we got to do it, man. Let's
Hey,
go.
man.
Coach Lacey's out there.
I
Let's
like
go.
Oh man, that's awesome. Dude, Coach, so thanks for joining us, man. I hope you had a good time. We definitely did. We look forward to your big announcement coming soon, and look forward to what you're gonna be doing in the future.
Thank you. I will add this. Another thing that's coming. I think I don't know, but I think I am. I am gonna write another book before the end of the summer. So I will do that. Not sure what angle I'm taking yet, but I'll write another book. The first one was building a championship defense. Sold on Amazon. Self-published it through Amazon. It's great. So it's still out there. You can get it. I have copies, but I think in a time I'm going to write another one. Not sure if it's going to be on the strategies to build a program or the difference in high school and college. Hadn't quite got that piece yet, but it's going to be. I got a goal to write it and finish it by the end of the summer.
I like it.
That's awesome. Hey, Coach, you got social media, so why don't you go ahead and plug where you're at, what social media you're on, where people can catch up with you.
So you can catch up with on the screen is my Twitter. On Twitter is at Coach_Lacey5. I'm probably more active on Twitter. Community sharing basketball ideas. I'm a quote guy, so you can always tweet me your favorite quote. I'm on Instagram at the same tag one. That's just more so the video side and the flyers that's there. I do Facebook, but I don't do a lot on Facebook. Kind of outgrown it. So, but Twitter, Instagram are the huge two that's there. I get into TikTok. You can learn a lot from TikTok. I get speeches and you get drills and whatnot. I'm on TikTok, but I use the same username for everything. I'm simple. I told you, we can't be into all this changing and doing all that, man. We're just going to keep it simple, easy, and less for me to remember.
Hey, Coach, thanks a lot, man. We really appreciate you being on. Good luck this weekend at the tournament. Have fun being a dad this weekend, and we appreciate you coming on to Virginia's for Sports and executing this week. Well done, sir. We appreciate it. Take it easy.
Thank you.
Thanks, Coach.
Thank you.
Boom, Flip.
Boom, boom. Love Coach. That was awesome.
I like that.
I didn't know he wrote books either. That's awesome. I might have to find me one of his books and put it on my shelf here. I don't know anything about him.
Yeah, I'm excited to hear about what Coach Lacey's doing. I know he said he was going back up to his high school area to work on some stuff in the future, but he's got something working.
Yeah, we tried to get it out of him.
Hey,
Try to get some breaking news on the podcast. But
we tried. Like, look, baby, 50 people.
Oh man, that's good stuff, buddy. Hey, I don't know what we got next week, but it's going to be somebody good. How's that? Is that a good tease?
Yes, sir. And make sure everybody goes out there and checks out our latest one, which was prior to this, was the Virginia Sports Hall of Fame.
Yes.
Shout out to PG, Fitty P, and Will Driscoll and all of them. But big shout out to Coach Lacey, and thanks Coach Stu Brown for hooking us up. Always gracious to us and a big fan of the podcast, and we love having him on Tuesday.
Tuesday.
That was a good one, Flip.
Yeah, thanks, man.
Hey, what should the people do, Flip?
They should like and subscribe.
Tell your friends. Share.
You
got it? Can you do 2 up, 2 down?
Shit, 2 up, 2 down. That's what I do. 2 up, 2 down.
You gotta use. There you go.
Other way around. There you go.
Sending us off, Flip.
All right, bud. Peace out.
Hey,